Oh, that has made a difference.
We are live. Boom! Late night wrap up. It's Friday. It's that time of the week, and we're here. The Team Super Dad wrap up. It's the podcast, the live stream that everybody loves. Top chats for banter, for mums, for dads, for the end of your week.
Welcome to Team Super Dad. Real dads creating their best lives ever. More time, more money, more fun. You are not alone. You're on Team Super Dad.
Boom, boom, boom. Good to have you all here, Glenn. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to be seen, Jonnie. Good to be seen.
Yeah, except for our podcast listeners who are listening and they're going, I hate it when they talk about the live stream and they know we're on a podcast, wankers.
Well, get involved, log on, viewers, get in touch live and drop us a note.
We're going to do a box set at Christmas. It's going to be brilliant. You're going to be able to get the indexed and jump between shows and get the fans' favourite and all that jazz. It's going to be brilliant.
Jonnie Unplugged. That's a phrase you never thought you'd hear before life support was involved.
Well, when you said plug, my brain just went to butt plug. I don't know why.
That says far too much about you, my friend.
Only time I've ever actually seen a butt plug is in Amsterdam, pawn shops in Amsterdam, basically.
Then you have not lived, mate. You have not lived.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to ask a question there or not.
Definitely not. All outline, no detail. We'll leave it with that.
Okay. A friend of mine had a girlfriend and she was the one that told us about her rosary beads, and she liked to have them pushed up her bottom during sex, and then as she came, she liked to have them pulled out.
Well, all I will say is, if you are going into that area, ensure you have a flared end on it. Otherwise, you know what, the doctors work hard enough as it is. They don't need to be getting stuff out of you. Okay, just make sure it's a flared end. Pro tip.
Oh, see, that's just beyond me. I'm not even sure about that. Yeah, here's our little banner for the week. The wrap up, number 30. That's quite a nice round sort of.
It is. I feel like we should have thrown some sort of party for it.
Oh, well, we're going to put it off. We're going to be like the Queen. We're going to have a summer birthday party, a summer party.
I've been to one of those, by the way. I've been to a couple of garden parties at the Buckingham Palace. In fact, at one of
because you're the gardener.
No bullshit. No, I used to do youth work in it, and our patron was Princess Anne, so I used to do loads of stuff involving her. And a couple of times I got invited to garden parties. And one time I went there. My mum, she's a massive royalist, so I actually went as I was having a wander around the garden. Found this like a really nice plant bush type thing, snapped a bit off, stuck it in a pocket, gave it to my mum, and she seeded it and planted it. So technically, my mum tends the Queen's bush. She's got royal bush in her garden. That's all I'm saying. It's probably going to get me beheaded, but it's totally worth it.
You just admitted it now. There's a number of people, like I've been to some like hospitality events, and as a company, nice guys, they're called Hospitality Finder. Big up Hospitality Finder. And they do this thing called the Green Room. And one of their regular guys is the rugby player that's married to the hot one.
Oh, well, that's not going to narrow it down very much, is it? Women love a rugby player because, they're all sizist. Size doesn't matter. And then they see a rugby player walking along and like, hello, maybe it does.
She ignores the cauliflower ears and the fact that he drinks his mate's piss. But no, what's her name? Come on, Tyndall.
Right, okay. Mike Tyndall. I've heard of him.
Yeah, Mike Tyndall is one of the regulars at the Hospitality Finder Green Room events. So he's got a few stories which are have royal approval, even though they're a bit close to the bone, basically. So he talks about different times, like when he's been sat and the first time he met the Queen, and you get told the protocol, and I'm not going to do his story no justice, but it's brilliant to hear how the normalness of of life suddenly gets thrown a curveball when you're told, oh, you're probably going to speak to the Queen later.
It's mad. It's really weird because I've stayed overnight at one of her palaces. I've been around her house for dinner before, and been to garden parties and stuff. But I've still never got within sort of 10 meters of the Queen. So I'm a little bit annoyed. I've still got to do this thing and actually just high five her at some point.
You need to get up the pecking order. Yeah, definitely. Well, here's a funny one. So my dad also got invited to a garden party once, and as the story goes, it was around the time of my stepmom and him breaking up, but some level of protocol meant that it was best that they both still went. And so my dad's answer to most situations is get pissed, basically.
He's my kind of man.
So, and not in some brutal, drunken kind of but in a fun way. But as given the tension in the air, apparently it wasn't that great. And my ex-stepmom, she told me about how they got introduced to Princess Anne, and my dad.
I love her. She's my favourite.
My dad just did a classic fail. It's like, weren't you married to so-and-so, the horse rider, whatever? Yeah. Stinking of garlic and brandy. And good. My dad, top bloke. You can always count on him to ram raid a situation.
It's weird with royal family. First time I got invited to Buckingham Palace, you actually do get a letter, like a proper little card that says like by royal decree or something like that. It's proper Buckingham Palace stationery. Yeah. My mum has still got it framed on her wall, and that's how proud she was that I was going off to Buck Palace for a bit.
No, still, I think it's a big deal. I'm a royalist as much as I don't dislike them. I think it's good for the country. I think it's like we're going to pay anyway, one way or the other. No, you think a president doesn't cost money? Like bloody hell! So, but yeah, how many people nick stuff? I mean, like, I think they probably like at the start of a garden party, they bring out like get 200 ashtrays in a of bog roll that's got the H on it, just because they know everyone's going to fleece the flipping place. Yeah, 3 more ashtrays in the smoking room, 2 pot plants in the toilets, and they just go around stocking it all up all day because they know give them stuff they can nick, so it's all right. Yeah. Well, Glenn, for anyone joining us for the first time, it wasn't even scheduled a little chit chat royal thing. Oh, it is a royal week as well because Harry and Meghan. It's all the talk, isn't it? It's all the talk. So we can come back to that. But yeah, this is the wrap up. This is what we do. We get together at the end of the week and we talk nonsense because we can't in the pub anymore, although that is coming back. And we're Team Super Dad. We are dads creating our best lives ever. Whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, there's always an opportunity to stick your headphones on and have a break, basically. And talking a break, what's my son saying to me?
I don't know. What is your son saying to you?
He's just talking about where's he said can he go and sleep in my room because his sister is chatting with her mate and blah blah blah. The good
definitely can. You don't want to be around that voice.
He's happy, and that's what matters. Lost my train of thought totally. Oh yeah, what we do, the wrap up. Yeah. So Team Super Dad, we're real dads creating our best lives ever. Single dads in relationships still, sticking your headphones on, having a laugh. I've listened to podcasts for years. Glenn and I, we have a shared interest in one of North London's, and probably actually North London's finest team.
Well, it's North London's only team. There is a South London franchise that is currently playing there, but I'm sure they'll move on again at some point.
They will definitely. But the Fighting Cock is a great podcast, and the thing I like about it most, probably aside from the football, is just the laugh they have, the absolute laugh they have. So when I put the wrap up together, I was like, this is something that dads can listen to when they're cooking, when they're mowing the lawn, when they're driving in a car on the way back home, and have a bit of a laugh, bit of a giggle. Try and be as relatable as possible, and yeah, just tell one on ourselves. We got Glenn, who is at a dating dad on Twitter and Instagram. Occasionally we have other guests join us. Do you know, this poor sound quality? I'm just going to say to all our regulars, apologies a bit about the sound quality last week. I had my noise gate turned on as well. So as well as dodgy, I'm going to tune in via a mobile phone, I had a setting on my deck called noise gate, which doesn't help, but there we go.
And I'm really sorry to those regular listeners, but they were genuinely northern. There's nothing we can do about that. It's just that we'll try and find some sort of filter to make them more understand. Maybe we can do some sort of audio subtitles next time.
Well, and when you got to go categories of northerners as well, you know, because
well, of course we have. There's Watford, and then there's the north.
No, but you got Manx, and you got Scallies, Geordies, Brummies.
Yeah, north,
Brummies.
and north.
Have you got any Brummie mates?
Yeah, I have indeed. Yeah. One of my best mates who just started working with me, actually. He's from West Bromwich or wherever that is, wherever that team is. And genuinely, he's got this West Country drawl, or is it black country drawl, not West Country, black country drawl, and it's an impressive thing to behold.
Yeah, I can't even do it. I can attempt a bit of a Brummie. Ta-da in a bit. Ta-da.
Oh, it's like I'm back in Peaky Blinders again, you know.
Oh man! So I lived with a Brummie. So when I went to uni, I didn't really know many Brummies before I went to uni. And then there's one guy. Oh my God, Steph, good old Steph, full Brummie, about as Brummie as it gets, basically. Because the brilliant thing about Brummies is they're just kind of like bonkers. It's like they're daft, but they're up for it as well. They're just all in, basically. And then I had a housemate when I first moved to London. I was working out where to live and who to live with, and my brother's wife but brother's girlfriend at the time, her best mate had been getting it on with this lad in Faliraki. They spent the summer in Faliraki. So I met this lad, Elliot, and again, just a classic Brummie, like real cheeky, loads of geese about him, but in a Brummie way, and all his clothes mattered and everything. So Elliot and I get a place together, and then his mates would periodically come down and see us, right? So there'd be about 10 of these Brummies that would turn up. Now, that would always go wrong. It would always go wrong. And it was, they would end up they would go somewhere where something was obviously going to go wrong, like go to a strip bar and then get fleeced of all their money. And then go to a strip bar in Soho and got fleeced of all their money. They would then have a fight between them about whose fault it was. Of course, they're blind drunk by this time. Then it would completely fall apart before coming back together at the end in some kind of like bruised and battered, drunken sort of big hug it out at the end. And it happened every single time. Absolutely classic.
It's the Brummie way. That's all we've got to say.
Brummage. No, the word brummage. The word brummage, right? It's a word that means like a collection of crap. It gets the word brummage because this sort of stuff used to be made in the Birmingham area, right? So I'm gonna look up brummage meaning. I think that's pretty much it. Brummage. Oh, nothing's coming up. Google can't handle some UK slang. It just keeps bringing up rummage. No, it's word brummage. And how's your week been, Glenn? You told me earlier, like you've been worked to the bone this week.
Oh, mate, it's been long. It's good. I like being busy, but it's getting to a stage. So I had my day job as normal, and then other duties have been plopped on me as someone. There was a situation where I've now taken on managing another team, and they're all onboarding and stuff. And then we've had bids coming in, and I've had presentations. A few nights this week, I've been working till sort of 1 a.m. just getting stuff done, and then up for sort of 8:30 a.m. meetings, plus homeschooling and all that sort of stuff. I am shattered, absolutely shattered. It's nice, when you're tired, but you're proud of your work, and it's been a good week. But I've earned a lay-in. I'm actually quite pleased that my kids aren't here this week. They went back to their mums tonight, so I've got a week without them, and I'm just gonna sleep the entire bloody time. It's nice, but I don't want to do it all the time. I've got to say.
Are you one of those people that can sleep in? Can you like do an 11 o'clock sort of 11?
Yeah. And in fact, tomorrow it's great because at the moment, I don't know what you're like in terms of cricket, but the England versus India. And yes, we're probably going to end up in a bad way by the time I wake up tomorrow. But there's something really nice about waking up. There's been a couple of hours play, so it's settled in. And no matter what time I wake up, stick it on a telly in my room and then just sit there and lay in bed. I can lay in bed until sort of 11, 12 o'clock and just relax, enjoying the cricket, surfing a bit of Twitter with a cup of tea. Life is good. That is a great way to spend a morning. And when you're on your own, probably the best way to spend your morning. Do you have to get up then?
I wake up. I can't. I like got ants in my pants. I'm like, right, what time is it? What's happening? What's like if I wake up at 9:15, that is a lay-in. That's
No, there's nothing nicer, and especially if you've got someone you're enjoying your time with. There's nothing. I remember a while ago, I woke up and I was with a lady, and we enjoyed a bit of time together. Then relaxed and watched I think it Le Mans was on, so we watched, and she was big into motorsport, so we watched a couple of hours of Le Mans, enjoyed ourselves a bit more. Had a brunch in bed and just relaxed and chilled till about 1 PM. That is a great way to spend a day, I've got to say.
Yes, I could definitely be talked into that. That's for sure. That's
but you don't have to get up. You can't do that if you're getting up and mowing the fucking grass or something.
I know, but I'm not going to get up if I've got a woman in the bed, am I? Well, I might get up for something, but that's not getting out of bed.
But because I am not a morning guy. I've dated women, and they've been the last couple of women I've had like relationshipy type stuff with. They're both from teachers, and they've been getting up at sort of 5:30 in the morning, 6 AM, so they can get up, get ready, get set, get out of work house, so they can get to their school for 7:30. So, but of course, as soon as they're awake, I have to be awake, whether I'm at my house or their house, and no, I don't want to be awake. I'm a night owl. I don't want to go to bed until midnight at 1 AM or something like that, because all the best things happen at night time. No good things happen early morning. Yet they insist on getting up and having a job where they actually have to get up and go to work. It's not right. I think there should be laws against it.
Okay. Fair dues. I'm a morning person.
In that case, you and me are never going to work romantically, I've got to say. Sorry, man. Don't mean to let you down here.
Watching Le Mans in bed together. Well, I got a running order as always. Got a little bit of stuff to chit chat this week.
But before we do that, how was your week?
Tough, I think. Just got a lot going on. Team Superdad is I'm pushing it on, and there's always a list. I've always written a list, and I'm a sucker for putting too much on the list. There's a quote saying, I've been told, and I've been using it and playing with it a bit recently. We overestimate what we can do in a day, and underestimate what we can do in a year. And you can
like that. That's good.
You can play with it as well. Like you can overestimate what you can do in a day and underestimate what you can do in a week. And so I make the lists, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Where do I go? And I'm like a madman. I'm like Bat the Rat trying to, but of course I end up doing tickle 10 things and don't finish any of them. So then I get to Friday and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've not finished any of them. So I have to coach myself. When I'm working with Dad, sometimes a subject comes up and you can see that, and that you're talking about it, and I go, breathe. And it's remarkable when someone says to you, breathe, and you go, oh my gosh, yeah, I do need to breathe, actually. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been a bit like that. Obviously, a bit of football. The kids came back on Wednesday. Spurs were on TV on Thursday. I've been running. I've been fitness the fitness is back. Obviously, it's a regular subject we cover. You're the yang to my yin. Till one day when you come knocking and go, Jonnie, I've been saying I don't do fitness for the last 3 years. Can you help?
Mate, I'm not saying I don't need it. I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm just bloody lazy. I'm just not the sort of person who has any motivation whatsoever to actually get off their ass and make their life better. I need a challenge.
Yeah. Either it will come and it will stick, or you're going to fall in love with someone who agrees with you, and you're just going to wane and waynetta it into old age.
But they were happy. Besides the fact Waynetta went off and had what did she describe? I want a baby. I want a brown baby. And so she went off and had an affair and came back. But Wayne took her back, bless him, and he loved those kids like they were as his own. I've got to say that if that ain't love, what is? That's basically Shakespearean.
It is. I'm sure Harry Enfield was thinking that when he scripted it. He was thinking Shakespeare, definitely.
Weirdly, actually, I did listen to an amazing podcast where he actually looked into discussed the psychology and the economic impact of loads of money, and how actually it created the character was actually commandeered by the Tory party of the time, even though it was a satirical parody of their policies, and he was actually quite frustrated the fact that he was satirizing them, but they were claiming it as a mark of honor. To the point where actually his character was quoted in Hansard. And I was like, no, this shouldn't be the case. I wrote this for these reasons. He was actually being quite clever about what he was doing. So whilst I'm not saying Wayne and Waynetta are the Romeo and Juliet of our time, what I am saying is he was sharper than he let on.
Oh, well, unbelievably. Well, all good comedians are. It comes from a satirical reflection on the world around us, which they show us, and we all laugh at, failing often to realize what they actually are talking about. What was that Friday Night Live? Why don't we have Friday Night Live? That was bloody brilliant, that TV program. It was hilarious.
We don't have any good shows on comedy these days. There's panel shows, great. 8 out of 10 Cat Stars Countdown. Actually, I bloody like. Would I lie to you that there's satirical panel shows, but when was the last great sketch show?
Oh, well, Fast Show.
Exactly. The Fast Show was 20 years ago.
Yeah, Little Britain would have probably been the last one.
25 years ago.
Little Britain was 25 years ago.
Something like that. It was a long time ago. This was early noughties at the very latest.
I guess
there hasn't been a great sketch comedy show for about 20 years, as far as I can tell. You had Smack the Pony, Big Train, Fast Show, Goodness Gracious Me.
The sketch in Big Train, right? When this American guy, he's bought the Ritz Hotel, so he sat there in the meeting with the manager and the chef and the head butler or whatever, and he goes, "I love this place. I'm so happy to buy it. Oh man, I'm so excited. One little thing. I want to change the name to the Tits." And then the face drops, and he's like, "I love the name Tits. I want to." Like, it's just flipping brilliant.
But yeah, I'm absolutely gutted. There's not actually tell a lie. Now this is one of those things where most people don't know about it. But I promise you, it's the funniest thing I've seen in many a year. Famalam. It's a BBC Three thing. Famalam. It's just genius. A work of genius. I promise you, look it up and watch it. Come back and tell me. I would say tell me what you think about it, but just share the love for it, because it is absolutely incredible. Actually, that's the most modern, the best sketch comedy show of recent times. But it's just one that nobody knows about because it was a BBC Three thing.
So it's old or it's new?
New. It's they've done about 3 or 4 series. But for some reason, it never massively took off.
Yeah, well, they put a lot of stuff on BBC. There is a lot of funny stuff on BBC Three, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But, we are out of the demographic. We're old, middle-aged now. So.
Yes, I am.
We're watching reruns of... Oh, I saw the reruns of the 2 Ronnies the other night. There's a sketch go for you. By the way, little rewind to something earlier. Brummagem. I spelled it wrong. Quote, in context, a vile brummagem substitute for the genuine article, cheap, showy, or counterfeit, which is classic for some of, and it's a bit harsh on some of the brummies I know, but also sometimes kind of fits, says the man wearing one of his 50 black polo shirts. On the subject of comedy, right? Did you see Back to Coming to America 2 is out this week?
See, what do you think of that? What's your opinion? Because I've not seen it, but obviously Coming to America 1 was one of the greatest comedy movies of the, what was it, 80s?
It's got, 80s, it's got to be, I'm going to IMDb it. Yeah, absolutely classic. I just can't see it being good, basically. I am Eddie Murphy. People don't even realize he played about 6 characters in the film. Just absolutely. Where did it? I mean, if they did the follow up right, it could have been funny.
Oh, yeah, it could. The thing, I'm worried about it because he was an absolute genius, but he was of his moment. You know, he was energetic. He was young. He was breaking boundaries. And he was doing things that nobody else had ever done before, and saying things and acting in a way that no one had ever come close to. Whereas now, he's the institution. You know, it's not just, you aren't just looking for the new Eddie Murphy. You're looking for whatever the new Eddie Murphy was 20 years ago. So I'm worried that he might be trying to recreate the magic instead of trying to create something new. Yeah.
Well, here we go. Premieres on Amazon Prime on March the 5th, tonight. Premiering. So yeah, we'll catch up with that. So I will watch it. I've got a very high tolerance for crap films, so
I'm going to watch it because I want to rewatch the first one because I want to work out whether I can let my kids watch it because most of it.
Out by that, there's a lot of sexual innuendos in there for sure.
Exactly, and I'm okay with sexual innuendos because a lot of that's just going to go straight over their heads. But there's some pretty basic stuff like at one point he's getting bathed and a beautiful woman pops up from between his legs and says the royal penis is clean. I don't want to be sitting there with my kids whilst they're thinking that some woman is cleaning some man's penis. So I might leave that one for the time being, I think.
True, but then obviously, we've got different age kids. But 1988 was Coming to America. So when that came out, 1988, holy moly!
Yes, that's 33 years ago. That's a third of a century ago.
I was 14.
And I'll tell you what's weird when you're thinking about that. What year was 33 years before you were born?
Oh, I've done this before. Yeah, you think like flipping black and white TV and flipping rock and roll. Elvis.
Because for me, that was 1957. So that is as distant from my birth as 1957 is from my birth, and that's just mental.
Well, I listen to Centreforce Radio a lot, right? It's a dance music station, but it's an old pirate station from the rave days.
It's wicked because I read Centerfold magazine, and I'm pretty sure that's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
I do believe so. You must get those on eBay. I reckon must be. Check the description for quality. Didn't we talk about that the other week about pornos and chucking them away? I think we did.
Probably.
So I'm pretty sure I watched Coming to America at the movies. Yeah, at the cinema. I don't know. Our kids are so sanitized these days that what they get up to and what we get up to. Playgrounds. I was at the playground today. It was a playground that I went to with my granddad used to take us there.
Yeah.
And it's just boring now.
They're bloody safe. I got to say that.
So safe. I would rather keep the dangerous stuff, but let them fall on the spongy floor. Surely that's the best of it.
Yeah, yes and no. See, I never. Okay, I was going to say no one ever died, and that's true. But we used to have in our playground in Walthamstow, there was half the equipment was like normal, and then half of it was double height. So you had little swings, and then you had the big swings where you could get some real takeoff velocity on those sort of things. And you had little slides and big slides. And we was over there once. My mum had dropped us off at the park and said, "You look after your brother and sister." And must have been just two of them at that stage. And she went off and did her shopping. And then my brother has climbed up on, I don't know, he must have been 8, 9 years old, climbed up onto the big slide and decided to do a Superman down it. And of course, he's done a Superman and he missed the slide and fell off the side of the thing onto his head, cracked his skull open, broke his skull and all that sort of stuff. And I had to I must have run about 3 miles around the shops trying to find my mum. He didn't die. So that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's that level of danger and risk is part of play. Surely there has to be a risk of death. Otherwise, are you really alive?
So I was on the internet today looking this up to see, so the playground we went to, used to have Witch's Hat.
They were good.
It's a triangle, like a cone, a cone, ice cream cone type, pointing up. So the fat bit at the bottom, the pointy bit up at the top, and then 3 layers that you could climb up. So you could get maybe 20 kids around the bottom layer, 10 kids, well, probably more than this actually, if you really went for it.
You rammed them on,
20, 30 kids on the bottom layer, 20 in the middle, and then 10 on the top. And then because with that many people on it, would swing ferociously back and forward, and then wham against this metal pole in the middle. Crazy and so much fun.
Yeah, I've actually I didn't mention this. I've actually got a picture of me being really dangerous in the park right here. It's just totally coincidentally. And for those at home, here's a picture of me absolutely going full out mental on a swing. There's metal, there's grease, and there's a look in my eyes that looks like I'm going to kill someone, basically.
It's just crazy. So some of these pictures on the internet, there's a blimey, I feel like I've had a stroke. The slide.
That's not a hard word, mate. A slide is not a hard word.
I've had a stroke. I've got a stutter. So here I'll bring the screen in, share screen, because this is a beautiful slide. And come on, Eileen. There we go. Boom. Sorry for the podcast listeners, but here is, right? This is brilliant. So these slides, and I remember slides, you're talking about 25 foot up. So it's definitely the height of an average house roof. Kids lining up behind each other on the ladder waiting to go down, and then actually would have been slippery. They make slides out of some weird metal these days that isn't slippery. What the hell is that about? Yeah,
if you can't reach terminal velocity going down a slide, then that is not a good enough slide, I've got to say.
Absolute bullshit.
Basically these things used to be cobbled together out of bits of scaffolding, no corners. And even when they put down underneath these things, they used to put these you were saying those foam mats underneath them. Everything you do, the whole point was to clear the mats. So when you're on the slide, you want to whip off the end of the slide. When you're on a swing, you're swinging around and you're absolutely trying to take off the slide.
Look at this one. This is even older. This is like
I don't know if you've ever noticed in this picture, you've got all the kids playing on it. Just focus on the left, about a third of the way up on the left. The kid who's actually fallen off the scaffolding, and you can just see him plummeting to the ground.
The black outfit, yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant.
But no one died. You know,
well, if they had so many kids back then, they'd be like, oh, a bit like Meaning of Life, like, oh, pick that up for us, would you, love?
it's why I'm 1 of 6, I'm sure.
There we go. Pick that up for us, would you, love? Oh man. So hot in the 90s. I thought we would do TV presenters this week. Presenters.
There was some hot TV presenters in the 90s, I gotta say.
So
do you want to go alternates? Because I've got several in mind that I want to mention.
Okay, good. Go on then.
Okay. To start with, I'm going to go for the twins from the Funhouse.
Oh, good. Okay.
Pat Sharp's Funhouse. There are a pair of twins on there who were on it. One more yellow, one more red. You know, they're only still in their 40s. they're only a few years older than me. I'm quite pleased about that fact. It gives me hope.
I used to love the flipping Funhouse. Let's get a picture of these two women up.
That was one of the TV shows that I wanted to go on the most. Funhouse, a whole lot of fun, prizes to be won. It's a real wacky show where anything can go. And I'm pretty sure they should do an adult version of it as well.
There we are. There they are. There's the two twins. Not bad. Okay. Well, I won't steal the thunder because my thought. Oh, where is she gone? My thought was, I instantly thought about the big breakfast.
Oh, good shout.
She's gone, but my instant thought was actually Denise Van Outen.
Nice, yeah. See,
a lot of fun, a lot of mouth,
a lot of fun, and yeah, she could definitely keep up with the boys. But for me, I had a problem because she sounds very similar to my stepsister. And you can't fancy your sister, basically. It's just not the done thing.
No, although the most watched table on YouPorn would suggest otherwise, which I find
I found bloody creepy. But someone who didn't sound like my sister was Ulrika Johnson of Gladiators fame.
Oh, good.
Don't even need to Google her. Just mental image, because she was a hottie.
Oh man, I'm just having a little moment there. But even before her, because we're going TV presenters, Michaela Strachan.
Yes, yeah, Michaela Strachan. Oh God, she was definitely an inspiration in many ways.
I bet she's older than us. She must be quite old.
She's older. She is older, I should think, by now. But she was in the Wide Awake Club.
Yeah.
Timmy Mallet and so on. I met Timmy Mallet when I was on Soccer AM once. He is every bit as mental as you think he is. He just, you see the character he is just that in real life. There's no switch. There's no character. He is just constantly Timmy Mallet.
Oh, Michaela Strachan's holding up quite well, actually.
Yeah.
Let's bring her in. Here she comes. She's holding up quite well.
Yes, yeah, not unattractive at all, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Someone else who is still very attractive.
Sorry, swimsuit. Here we go.
What was that?
Swimsuit shot.
Yeah, it's obligatory.
There we go. Excellent. Good work, Michaela. She's hanging in there. She did that animal program for ages.
Oh, what was it like? Something like Spring Watch or something?
I know, with the mad bloke with the bald head and the hair around the sides.
Terry Nuttall.
Terry Nutkins. There we go.
Nutkins. God.
Surely he was checked out during the pedo.
Yeah, I'm not going near that sort of a statement.
He must have had a file.
Did they also have Chris Packham on there?
I don't know who Chris Packham is.
He was a TV nature person, and I quoted him. I was doing a talk this week on digital transformation, and I quoted him because he not told me personally at all, he told the world that he would eat the last panda if it meant that the money they were spending saving pandas could actually be spent on saving things that mattered to the natural world. And I thought that was an amazing statement, so I loved it. It also made me wonder what panda tastes like.
Chicken.
Another thing I wondered what tasted like for a long time was Philippa Forrester.
And how did you get this question answered?
Well, I haven't yet, but Philippa, if you're looking, I'm still very much available. She was obviously not just on CBBC, but she was half of the team on Robot Wars. And as an absolute unapologetic geek, I grew up on Robot Wars. It was the best show in the reboot on telly was fantastic as well. Massively underrated, undervalued, and I cannot believe they cut it. But I do wish they'd have brought a bit of Philippa Forrester back.
There you go, Glenn, for your pleasure. There's a picture of her on Robot Wars set, looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Is she Scottish?
Body, but
is she Scottish? She is Scottish, is she?
No. Well, she is. I don't know, but she sounded very, very plummy English. It was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that from.
I think someone who sounded a little less plummy. I don't know whether this might have been a bit late for you, but Josie Darby.
Josie Darby.
Yeah, Josie apostrophe Arby. She had a certain, as the French say, I don't know what about her. No, this is me filling it again.
Is this her?
She was in a broom cupboard for free. Yes, that was her. Look at those are cheekbones you could grate cheese off of.
Again, doing our brain balance. Good there, Glenn. Thank you for keeping it for us. Here's one for keeping our diversity up. Zina Badawi.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Oh man, it used to crack me up every time. I used to love watching the Channel 4 news when we were at uni, obviously stoned out of our brains. It would just be like tonight with Zina Badawi. I have no idea what Zina Badawi looks like, actually. Zina Badawi. And my friend, my housemate, used to take, especially Emma Swinburne. Big up Emma Swinburne. She used to take the piss out of me because I had I just couldn't crack up enough. Zina Badawi. News reporter. What does she look like? Let's find out. That's not her, is it?
No, that doesn't look like someone I recognise.
Clearly, I don't know how to spell Zina Badawi.
That's probably what it is. One name you will be able to spell, though, is possibly, I would say, telepresenting royalty. And that is the one, the only, the Rochester vixen herself, Kelly Brook.
Well, Glenn, you teed this up as we prepped.
You can't not. I would tee Kelly Brook up any day of the week.
Here she is, kind of big breakfast time. Oh, she was together with Jason Statham for a while.
Yeah, she did. And, when we eventually end up together, then we'll laugh about those days. But yeah, early 90s, late 90s, early 90s, Kelly Brook is possibly the most attractive person who's ever existed. In fact, and I say this, it's not just me saying that, this is science. I say this in air quotes, scientists took data from dozens and dozens of surveys about what proportions heterosexual men of a certain age bracket found most attractive, and they came up with these dimensions, and these were obviously self-declared and so on. And then when they looked through the photos and statistics of a bunch of celebrities of the time, Kelly Brook came out as having the perfect set of features in every way, shape, and form. And you can't argue with science effectively. Yeah. She is exceptionally perfect.
And in a similar way, actually, she does look like in the movie Weird Science. She looks a bit like who's the woman that they make out and she comes up out the rocket and she looks similar to
her. But and also the great thing, what I love about Kelly Brook is, as well as the looks, and she's able to have a laugh constantly. She doesn't take life too seriously. She's got a great sense of humor. She's not as dumb as she makes out or as she's made out to be. I'm not saying she's an Einstein, but she absolutely knows what she's doing. She's the perfect bundle, all wrapped up in one beautiful form. And
she's a good Kent girl as well.
Yeah, Rochester lass. So basically, I'm now local. I'm 10 minutes down the road from you, Kelly. Call me, okay? Call me.
Yeah, you got my number. Turns out, by the way, back to something I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, it's nothing to do with Maidstone, old Maidstone or whatever. You're either a man of Kent or a Kentish man, depending on whether you live in the north of Kent or not in the north of Kent. It's like north of Tunbridge, whatever the line is, right? So just so we got some continuity there, people who are regulars on the show will know that we're talking about. I don't like to leave people hanging, fill in the gaps. On the subject of gaps,
there's only one other person that I just wanted to make sure, because you mentioned her, the glorious feline form of Cat Deeley.
Oh, I was saving her. I was gonna see your Kelly Brook with a Cat Deeley.
I did not want to let you miss out on that opportunity, mate.
Sorry, I've got it all teed up here. And SMTV. Yeah. if you're talking about morning fodder and a reason to stay in bed, even though she wasn't with me, she was a reason to stay in bed.
I had a friend who was he was doing some waiting work for like a corporate event type thing, and she happened to be there once, and she asked for something for him, like for a drink, and he went off and got it, and she said, what's your name? Oh, yeah, thanks for that, and said his name. To this day, he still quotes that as one of the greatest moments of his life.
The moment Cat Deeley used his name.
She knew he existed for that moment, yeah.
SMTV, I loved it. Absolutely bloody brilliant. Too funny. Although you did have to flick onto BBC to catch Trevor and Simon because they were
yeah, they could swing their pants with the best of them. My kids still mention duvets, and they've got no idea why they don't do duvets, but they know they don't do duvets.
Ken and Eddie Kennedy, the barbers. Oh, those were the days. So I do have another couple of topics on here, right? Went to the doctors today. Because I mentioned.
Is this the start of a joke?
No, it's not a joke. No. What is funny, right, is my bilirubins are high.
Yeah, I know. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about right now.
The doctor rings me up. Sod's law, because you have to wait. The doctors now, they call you. So obviously they don't want loads of people going in and out of the doctor for no reasons. So you ring up, you have to wait, chit chat, and answer phone, press 1, press 2, wait another 10 minutes. Oh, hello, yeah, great. Oh yes, I'm happy to tell you have qualified for a callback from the doctor. I was like, oh, brilliant. He'll be calling you on Friday. What on Friday? Like anytime? Yeah, Friday. Right? So she says, so make sure you don't use the phone.
Oh, don't put the internet on. Make sure the phone line is free.
Don't leave it engaged. So right, only have urgent calls. She said, if you want to speak to him, we go. So sod's law, I'm on a Zoom call with someone this morning, with a dad, and I was like, okay, it's going to be the doctors. And thankfully, he said, oh, I'll give you a call back. So I said, okay, great, give me a call back. So of course, I've got two dad coaching appointments today. So the doctor calls during the first one, and then he calls during the second one. And so I had to take it, right? So he goes, so he's got an accent. He's like got a sort of Indian-y accent, right? Plus the line's really bad. And he's telling me, your bilirubins are high. Right? I'm like, my what are high? Your bilirubins. So I'm thinking to myself, he's saying bilirubins.
I can't even work out what that might be. Bilirubin.
Surely there's no medical thing called your bilirubins.
That don't even make sense in Cockney rhyming slang.
No, exactly. I'm thinking this. So I'm exactly on that, and I'm kind of laughing because in my mind I'm thinking this is a prank call, right? But your bilirubins are like, how's your Rubens, mate, or whatever. Right? No, so I had to write it down. I got him to spell it out, and then when I got off the phone, I got on the tinter. So yeah, bilirubins. He goes. Do you think you are yellow? Honestly, it was like a sketch show. Talking to sketch shows, it was like a sketch show. Are you yellow? Are you? I was like, no. Have you got yellow eyes? No, I've got yellow eyes. And so it turns out your bilirubins. It's your liver keeps your bilirubin levels down. And if you're because it goes into your liver and your liver breaks down these fatty cells, and if the liver's not doing its job right, then your bilirubin level goes too high, which causes jaundice.
It's genuinely that. It's not like you've misheard it or anything. It's genuinely called bilirubins.
Your bilirubens. Your bilirubins.
Oh mate, every day is a school day.
And I'm laughing. I'm like flipping Beavis and Butthead as this guy is telling me, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, can you say that again? In his Indian accent? He's going, Billy Rubens. And I'm going,
But he's saying it as if you're meant to bloody know what that means. He's not saying you've broken your arm or you've got an appendix problem. He's saying Billy fucking Rubens. Excuse my language. I've probably got.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I said, it just sounds funny. Doesn't it sound funny? And I'm not sure he.
No, sir. This is a very, very serious matter.
Well, yeah, that's it. I was like, is it bad? He's like, no. If you're not yellow, you're all right.
Mad. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm now curious as to what my Billy Rubens level are. I want Apple to make a Billy Rubens monitor on my iWatch.
Oh yeah, and your Apple Health, yeah. I've never had really bad news from the doctors. Thankfully, never.
Give it time.
Yeah. That's why
I've seen your mail. Just wait a week. It's fine.
I juice a lot. I feel like the fact that I juice a lot, if I get bowel cancer or something, I'm going to be livid. All the things I shouldn't get, it'll be anything to do with my gut or bowel, basically. It'll be horrific. I want my money back. I got flipping £500,000 worth of juice, fruit and veg to come back. That couple this week, they had the numbers for the €182 million win last weekend. Young couple, and they play on the app. Yeah, so she's put a tenner in, and they've played 4 times, and then it came up. They won last week, so they're like, "Woo! 182 million." They would have had to share it with someone in Bulgaria or somewhere where no one except the mafia has 182 million euros. Mm-hmm. So there's a picture of them in the Daily Mail looking like absolutely heartbroken because they rang up Camelot or whoever the lottery people are and said, these are our numbers. And they said, yes, they are your numbers, but you had not topped up your credit in the app. So, yes, that was your normal numbers and you did play them the four draws before, but because you had not put a credit in, you did not actually have a ticket in the draw.
See, this is why I don't do the lottery, for this exact reason. I know, and the thing is that there's so many different little lottery things, or this draw or that draw. I knew if I did it in one, then my numbers would come out in the other one, so you end up having to do all of them, and you end up spending 10, 20, 30 quid a week doing the fucking lottery, and you're probably never winning, or when you do win, that sort of shit happens. So yeah, heartbreaking for them.
And they're quite young, so now they can't. They've either got to go really zen on it and be like, we weren't meant to have the money. Or they're going to just be forever, evermore. They'll be at a school flipping fair.
They're going to be split. They'll be split up within a month.
Oh, yeah, totally. But they'll be the school fair and they'll come around and say, do you want a raffle ticket? And you'll be like, no, I don't want a raffle ticket. If I buy a raffle ticket, I'll win the lemon curd and someone else will win the flipping holiday to Tenerife. No, I don't. Don't you know who I am? Oh, man. Well, Glenn, we could chat for hours, but I've got stuff to do tomorrow. You got stuff to do tomorrow? You got a weekend?
Literally nothing. I'm not getting out of bed if I don't have to. I'm watching the cricket. At least tomorrow, we'll still be playing tomorrow, and hopefully still on Sunday. Even if we lose, just give me something to do. I might go for a walk on Sunday. Let's go crazy. But other than that, I've got nothing to do, no one to see. Life is dull as ditch water, but I'm alive, so it could be worse.
Coming to America too. It's on your agenda. Well, people. Thanks so much for joining us on the wrap up number 30. We have talked about unsafe playgrounds, hot in the 90s TV presenters. You heard about my Billy Rubens and sketch shows, little chit chat about Eddie Murphy. If you want to see how comedy doesn't always age that well, go and watch Raw. Still funny, probably non-PC though, but and a big call out. Maybe we'll get Eddie Murphy on the show.
Hey, if you can, I'll be more than happy with that.
Yeah, I think he's heard about us. He just needs a little nudge in the right direction and he'll be on. Absolutely brilliant. Glenn, all the best to you, sir. We will see you next time we're on the wrap up together. Let's bring in that little lovely video jingle. Everybody else, if you listen this far, thanks so much for being part of the wrap up. I didn't even check the comments tonight, but you are welcome to comment as you're watching. If you're on the podcast, then please share this, give us a review, spread the love. And I look forward to doing another wrap up, well, another 30 wrap ups and getting us to the big 60. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Team Superdad out. Bye.
This has been Team Superdad. Find us at teamsuperdad.com. Join the program and create the best life ever for you and your children. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.